Welcome everybody, it's me Conda, your favorite sexy vegan wine girl, and today's show is all about entrepreneurs. But before we get started, you don't have your glass. We have a non-alcoholic beverage drinking person on the show, and that's not a bad thing. Cheers.
Cheers, my dear.
We're going to get right into it. We've got two incredible entrepreneurs that I get to talk to today. I'm very honored to do that. First, we have Mr. Bill Jackson. He's an entrepreneur. He's been an entrepreneur, I would say, your entire life.
Opened my first restaurant at 22.
Wow.
16 full-time employees.
Oh my goodness. And then we've got Michelle here, and she has been an entrepreneur most of her life as well, correct?
Yes, for the most part in personal development, the healing arts, and currently working with the top cryptocurrency ATM company in the world, so happy to be a consultant with that and parlaying, aspects of the healing arts, being a quantum leap consultant, being able to parlay that into how I manifest the clients, and the accounts that I do.
Great. That sounds pretty deep.
Mm-hmm.
Bill, let me ask you, you've been an entrepreneur all of your life.
Yes.
What inspired you to become an entrepreneur? At what age did you have your first job?
I've always had a job. I have 6 brothers and 6 sisters. My older brother was an entrepreneur. I grew up watching him run businesses, and he was a relatively young man. And I was so impressed by him, he convinced me that I could do it too. I mean, I'm the 9th child, so I have a lot of older brothers and sisters. And one thing you have to know about being a younger sibling is that you watch them go through their lives, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And so I saw them go to school and do the things they did, but entrepreneur stuck in my mind. I never had any desire to be anything but that. And so that's what I did. So after I got out of undergrad school, I went straight there, but I also worked in corporate America.
Okay.
And the thing that really set me off was I was at U.S. Rubber. I was assistant consumer products manager, and they was giving a guy an award for being with the company for 50 years. And I said that would never happen to me.
Oh, why not?
I don't ever want to do anything for 50 years.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm on variety. I want to do a lot of different things. And as you will see, as I kind of just shared with you some of the things I've done, you'll realize that's in fact exactly what I did. I did some of everything.
Wow.
Did you get the Timex watch?
That's exactly
Oh, there we go. Okay.
I said no. And I was very convicted about that. And so what happened was, so like I said, I owned a restaurant, I owned a recording company, I owned a network marketing company, I owned a telemarketing company. I practiced law for 20 years, but I also taught school for 17 years. I taught all the grades.
How did you have time to do all of this?
I did it all.
There's your variety right there. You really
wanted variety. This is what I wanted to do, and so I did that. And I've enjoyed myself and had an opportunity to do a lot of things like that. And so that's why I've always wanted to be. I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to be in control of my own destiny. I didn't want, so every opportunity I've ever had, that's what I did. Even law, choosing it. Because even practicing law, I did it 20 years, but from the day one, I never worked for anyone but me.
I was going to ask you, did you own your own practice?
Absolutely. I practiced from day one. I created and built the practice, very successful at it, and but that's just who I am. I want to be in charge of my own destiny, my own life, and make those kind of choices and make the choices that matter to me, do the things that meant something to me. And so that's exactly who I was and what I did. And I've enjoyed it. That's been a gas.
So you've been an entrepreneur ever since you were age?
Formally, and I was an athlete through high school. I was a wrestler and played football in high school and college.
What was your first restaurant at what age?
22.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because see, what I did was, when I was going to high school, I wrestled full time, but I also worked full time. See, I went to Tech. I went to school. I was Tilden Tech. It was an all boys school. We got out at 2 o'clock. I went to practice from 2 to 5 every day. Had to be at work from 6 to 12 midnight every night. My mother let me kind of sign me up a little bit ahead of time and let me start working. Actually at 14, And I worked every night from 6 to 12, 6 days a week, and I did my athletics in between. So it wasn't really a lot of time for me to be an entrepreneur. I was committed to being an athlete, you know, in high
Got
school
it.
and college, because I wrestled in college too. So that's kind of what it was. After I got out, I pursued my, you know, who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do, which is what I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like I said, I was convinced that I could do it because my older brother had done it. And so I had a model. And so that's what exactly what I
But you
did.
had a restaurant at the age of 22
Yeah.
in Chicago.
Absolutely.
And
Because
that
I see, because where I worked, I managed the restaurant.
I was going to ask you because
See,
it wasn't
In
popular
high school, no, and when I
for
was
an
in
African
high.
American to be an entrepreneur at
No,
the
no.
age of 22.
No, see, because-
Like
see,
what?
No, what happened was, I was very fortunate. The gentleman that I worked, who owned the restaurant that I worked for a restaurant. And we just hit it off. He liked me, and he kind of coached me. I actually kind of managed his stuff and handled his business. He was very successful in what he did, and he was very supportive of me and everything. And that's how I was able to actually go to school. Because what he did was, he let me work whatever hours I wanted to work. I could go to work, go to school, go to work. I could go back and forth based on my schedule.
Yeah.
He kind of supported me. He was right down on Randolph in State. That was where I worked. And he was very successful. He went over my restaurant. My sign that goes out front, he bought that. He
Wow.
also paid for my Keatings, my fry wells and all that. I mean, he was very supportive of me all the way. And he tutored me all the way through. And from the time I was 14 until the time I went into business. In fact, he was there on opening day. He was he was a great guy. I can't say enough about him. But the thing that was so impressive for me was, I was so young. I didn't realize how young I was. Because what had happened was I was working for Allstate Insurance at the time. That was my first job out of undergrad school. I was a casualty adjuster. And
Right down the street.
and I was going to pick up a police report because the police station was on 11th Street at the time, down on State Street. So I got off the expressway at Cermak, and as I was making the turn, going north on State, I saw a sign that said, place was available. I said, God, something clicked. I said, I could open a restaurant there. That it clicked in my mind. So I took the number down mentally. And so I went to see the guy, Mr. Braverman. He was up on Jackson and I can't remember exactly where this was a long time ago. And so when I got there, he left, because I called him and said, I told him I wanted to rent the place. How about he cracked it? He said, you just a kid. He said, you go to a restaurant? I'm serious. You're just a kid. You think you go to a restaurant? Because he had already committed it to another guy named Lim, who owned a restaurant on 59th. I talked to him. I was very serious. I was always a serious young man. He said, I'm gonna give you a chance to open this restaurant. And he did. He let me open that restaurant. That was the greatest thing. We became very good friends also. And the thing about it was I was so young, and I didn't realize how young I was when I went to get my restaurant equipment over on 74th and Stony Island. And I walked in there. The guy said, I called him about my barbecue pits and all the stuff that goes inside your restaurant. He said, you the owner? This is the guy said, this is the guy. He said, you the owner? I said, yes, sir. He gave me everything for half price.
Oh my God.
And then when I went to get my meat and stuff from my initial up on Fathers and Sons on the west side on Roosevelt Road, he gave my first 200 pounds of meat free. Everybody was supporting me. The community, everybody, I was right at 2137 South State, down that corner. And
This was back in the 60s? Okay.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Unpopular.
Wait a minute,
I mean, like, beyond God.
No, what I'm saying is the community, everybody in the neighborhood, from 22nd Street all the way down to 55th. Because that was the only restaurant
Wow.
in that whole area from on State Street.
Nice.
Wow.
But, I mean, all the, there are a lot of gangbangers over there too in some of the areas like that, but they just gravitated to me. In fact, this is what happened. I used to, the guys used to in the back. Sometime people would, the guys would get back in the back and drink wine. back in the back of the restaurant.
Oh, okay,
And so
there you
I would
go.
go back.
There you go.
So I would, but I was always, I like people. And I've never just, I never made a difference in people. I would, there's no one I would treat any differently than anybody else. And so they got that about me, and they liked me. And so there's a story behind this. And so one day, I was rushing to get out. I'm trying to, get out of the place. So I left out of the restaurant, and I didn't lock the back door. Everything, my whole restaurant was.
Wow. Oh.
When I get in the next day, the guys in the back to the right said, he said, Soul. He used to call me Soul. Because the name was Soul Brothers. That's the name of the restaurant was Soul. He said, Soul, man, what you doing, man? You left your restaurant over last night. We locked it up.
Oh, they really love you.
Oh, so you're booked for the gangbangers. They take care of your needs.
I mean,
that's like paying off the mom back in the days, right?
We locked it up. They locked the restaurant.
That's priceless.
It's priceless.
That's priceless.
That's where it was, because I was so young.
Wow.
No one could believe that I, could have a restaurant at
I'm telling
such a
you.
young age.
Talk about a trip down memory
That's
lane.
what that was. So that was an experience for me. But entrepreneur is something I always wanted to do. Helping people is something that's always mattered to me. Like I said, I taught school for 17 years also. Because I was doing that while I was going to law school. I was doing that while I was running my recording company. I mean, I was
Are we in the Twilight Zone?
I'm
Are you
telling
really?
you.
Is this all in this same human being?
What is-
Yeah,
It's not your other personality.
Yeah, really. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are there different names, or are you still
No,
all
I'm the
Bill?
same guy.
No? Okay,
But,
same guy.
I've just said that inclination to want to do some things. And I'm still doing a lot of things, but more specifically, that's what I did. But my favorite, I like being an entrepreneur. But what I really loved, I loved teaching. I loved that profession. I just couldn't afford to be one. I'm serious.
Yeah,
I just couldn't afford to be a school.
Right.
I did
yeah.
I loved what I was doing. I loved children. I loved what I did. I loved going to work every day.
Yeah.
They liked me. I liked them. But I reached the point where I said, I got to do something else. That's when I decided to go to law school.
Oh.
And then that's when I worked my way out of that. But it was. I've had a lot of things I've gotten involved in. Then I became a network marketer. Now that's the thing that I never thought I would have wanted to do. I've been an entrepreneur my entire life, but if I had opportunity to start it all over, the only thing I would ever have done was network marketing.
Would you do that
I would
again?
never. I wouldn't have went to law school.
Really?
I wouldn't have.
Could you fit in being an
No,
NBA
because-
superstar in there somewhere? No?
Yeah, I was very.
Oh, you were too. Yeah.
I was senior vice president, and when I left the last network marketing, I was the #1 producer out of all the company, leading producer in terms of sales and everything in the company. So I went right there. I went to another company, which is a company called World Global, from there. But just as far as but network marketing was the thing.
What do you love about network
Just
marketing?
making money. Let me explain to you. That's what it is. If you ain't making money, you ain't in business.
Right.
What I'm saying is, you'd rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people, than 100% of your own effort.
Yeah.
Your effort is a job. I realized that I could leverage
Yeah.
other people's time. See, the thing about law, you can make money, but you want to make more money, you got to do more work, personally. You got to take on more cases. It's very labor intensive. I learned in network marketing. My network was up. I had over 3,000 people in my downline.
That's a lot.
Every time they
That's
sold
impressive.
something, I got paid. I didn't have to work no more than maybe 1 or 2 hours a day, max. And I wasn't working. Then I'm on the phone. I'm texting, but I didn't have to do. All I did was came and did presentations. What I love about it is you have your own time. You work at your own rate. And your time is yours. I don't have to go anywhere unless I want to go, or to do anything unless I feel like doing it. And I built a tremendous network, and it's nice to know that I can be anywhere in the world and making money, because other people are doing things. You just love it. I just didn't have any idea that was something that I could have done, nor did I realize how successful I could be at it.
Gotcha.
And be able to present something and enroll other people in you, and then we're going to go out and we work together and partner and do things and build something together. Everybody's making money. Everybody's making money, and that's the thing I liked about it. Everybody was making money. We had a very good product. This is one of the products, among others. But I'm just saying that that's what I liked about it, and I wouldn't do anything else. I'm a
also-
professional network marketer now. I wouldn't do
Ah,
anything else. So I'm a
nice.
professional network marketer.
Well, they say network marketing creates more millionaires than.
There are more millionaires in network marketing than any other industry in the world, literally.
I think it's about also finding the right network marketing company.
You know, that's true too, but it's all about you. You can attest to this. You're the cause of every effect. What simply means it's based on who you are and what you project and what you want and what you want to attract. You can create something no matter what. I tell people oftentimes, even though I attempt to recruit an individual, if they're in another company, I support them to be in that company. Because I'm convinced that I don't care what company you're in, who you have to, there's a person you have to be
It's you
to
who's
be
driving
effective
it.
and successful. And you can jump from company to company to company to company and fail in all of them. But the failure is not in the company, it's in you. You know what I'm saying? And so once you recognize that, then you can do it. I don't care I don't care what company you go to. So I just like I like the challenge. I like the opportunity of starting from nothing and then creating something and then look at it grow and develop. You know, I'm gonna share something else if
You
I
also
can.
like teaching too, like
look-
you said, so you get a chance to teach, you know, inside of this because you're coaching, you're training, you're teaching your people.
But I
in your
also
organization.
have a it's not over, it's a covert plan.
Okay.
Something covert. I always wanted to be a farmer.
Okay. Listen, we can't say do another damn we're about to have another career.
Bill, if we looked at your Akashic records, you must have decided, I'm coming back, and there isn't anything I can't accomplish.
I'm
We're gonna
telling
put,
you.
every single
See, I'm clear that
Why
teaching.
because when I was a little kid, yeah, I lived in an area where out of my window was a farm. A guy had a farm, and I could see in my window he had a soybean farm. He would be on his tractor, way out, like a little spot way out there. First of all, it'd just be dirt, and he would be out there working, and then I would watch him every day, and I look up all this stuff starts growing. He did it all by his. I just thought that was just fabulous. You know what I mean?
If you could stop the genetically modified.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying on the real side, that
Yeah.
it impressed me. I liked it, and the thing, this is what was more. See, I've always wanted to have a family. I'm a family. I come from a family like that. My father, my mother. I came from that kind of a family, And the idea of having to be able to go to work every day and work in your field and have everything that matters to you sitting right there in that house. That you're working hard, but it's all right there. Your family, your children, everything is right there. It's all, I love that thought. You know what I mean? I've always wanted that, but I just never had the opportunity to pursue that. I harbored that, inside as a young person growing up. I had a garden now. I did have a garden. I grew, watermelon.
How would you have time with all these careers? I mean,
They overlapped. I did a lot of things. I did a lot of things at the same time. I did a lot of things at the same time. I ran my telecommunications company. I was in law school and I was teaching school at the same time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what you did.
Wow.
But that's
So
kind of
tell
what
us
it is.
about what you have here.
It
This is
is.
a new company.
Yeah.
And you were saying earlier, this is called the BioZen.
Called BioZen.
And this is going to help us in some kind of way. Please explain.
Well, there's a thing called biosmog.
Okay.
Whether you know about it, you are totally inundated and engulfed in radiation all day. Every single electronic device in this house is emitting it. Not just your cell phone, your microwave, your TV, your laptop, your cell phone. You are immersed in it, and you don't necessarily recognize it, and not enough work has been done. And even though work has been done, the people who control the information are not sharing the hazards of all of this. They're not sharing it. It's like cigarettes. The cigarette industry today don't believe that cigarettes are harmful. And they fought it for generations. People were dying in the mass. people don't understand how serious these cell phones are, and the amount of study, and the number of studies that have been done that have shown the correlations between, you know, those cell phones and brain cancer and breast tumors and prostate cancer, and they tell you, do not, tell ladies, do not carry your phones on your breast. Tell guys, do not put your phones in your pocket, and by no means should you ever let your children sleep with a phone. And they all sleep with them.
And let me just say this. I know that this is true because, and I can't wait to get one of those. I want one already.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact, if I fall asleep, and I'm the queen of, I mean, I'm like, I cannot depart from my phone. It's the worst thing. But if I'm working in my bedroom and I fall asleep with my laptop on my lap and my phone, I feel horrible the next day when I wake up. Like I have a headache sometimes, especially if I leave the light on too. So it's like, something is going on.
Oh,
something
no,
is going on.
it's a scientific fact. It's not a question. Jury's in on it.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I mean, and when I'm like, you know, when I go up to school with the kids and all, and I see all these young people with their cell phones and those computer labs and everything, they're completely immersed in all this radiation. And 20 years from now, the effect of it will be known, because all these young people will have all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
And they aren't advertising it. They aren't the phone companies aren't on top of it. They don't want to put the time in or put the action. It makes sense. This is just a chip. You can just put a chip on a phone. Why wouldn't they put a chip on a phone that would eliminate biosmog, knowing that it has that, you know, that effect? But the fact of the matter, that's not being done, and there's a consequence. Our young people, the children, and that's important to me, are exposed.
Wow.
You know, and they're exposed, and this matters to me. And one of the things that I'm going to do, I'm going to find someone, I'm going to find me a school, and I'm going to introduce this to the principal, and I'm going to have them take this project on. And I'm confident that if parents actually knew the hazard that those cell phones were actually causing for their children. I mean, you got children 8, 9, 10, 11 years old with cell phones.
Well, they start them out on the Apple iPad.
That's what I'm saying. With the iPhone.
And it's all radiation.
Yeah.
It's all radiation.
So by the time they get 25 years old, they have very serious problems.
Yeah.
And so I'm confident that that's something that can be done.
So this blocks out the radiation?
Yes, it does.
Also, it was saying
99%.
And a defense against changes in your blood?
Yeah, because all that it impacts all of that.
Yeah.
It does all of that. So I just can't stand up about it. It's a very simple process, a very simple procedure. What it looks like is this. This is all it is. You take it, and
I don't know if you guys can see that.
and you put it on the back of any of your
Put it
devices.
on the back of the phone. Wow.
Or your laptop.
Or your laptop.
On your cell phone, on your laptop, on your microwave, any electronic device.
So you were telling us that you have a plan. You want to go to the schools and take
And offer it,
everybody's
yeah.
phone and what?
No, I want to offer it as an option.
Okay.
I think it should be required.
Wow.
Based on what we
Yeah.
know, there's
Yeah.
no reason in the world that any educational institution where you have young people and children being exposed to as much radiation as they're being exposed to with the computer labs, with their cell phones,
That's
everything
true.
they're completely inundated with it all day.
Mhm.
And it's there. The phone is enough, but the computers generate just as much.
The iPad.
The iPad.
I think people
digital.
take for granted, they don't recognize that they think this is just our only body. They
Right.
don't see that we're living inside of an energy body.
Right.
Right,
No.
and that this is impacting that, and that impacts the physical and with the headaches.
See, the
and so
thing
forth.
that not fully appreciated is that, see, your body, your mind is not in your body. Your body is in your mind.
Mhm.
It's the other way around. And the body only represents, only exists because of the vibrational frequencies that cause it to manifest itself at the physical level of existence. But we are conscious beings,
Having
that are,
human
and we've
experience.
taken on the appearance consciousness has taken on the appearance of matter.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the illusion.
This is the
This is the
Yes.
illusion. This is
That's true.
nothing is solid. You were talking about quantum,
Right,
electromagnetism.
yes,
You know, behind even you go into string theory. You know what I
right,
mean? The bottom line is that nothing. When you go back to the very, very, very end, there's nothing there.
right, yeah,
It really isn't.
Everything is
But
not
vibrational
there.
frequencies. That's
Yeah.
all we are, and everything else where it represents that. And when you really can appreciate that fully, what you're talking about, the ability to create, we aren't like, we weren't. How'd you say? Created. We drew ourselves from that source, that universal consciousness, and the only why we can think, the only why we are conscious, is because we drew our minds from that which was conscious.